Smoking meats for beginners. My name's Kyle. Let's get to it. First off, there's two basic types of smokers. You have a traditional wood fire smoker. This will use wood logs or wood chunks. It relies on a thermal airflow system. So when you have your fire running, the fire is going to draw in air to feed the fire, and then the fire is creating the heat. Well, the heat's going to push through the chamber, and heat rises, so it'll find the highest point, which is your exhaust stack, and it'll push through. You have a firebox that is going to be fed by a bed of coals that you started, so all the wood's going to burn down and just be a bed of coals, and then you keep adding on to that. A lot of work. The electric pellet fed smoker, newer to the market, it runs off of a computer system, and so it's going to burn compressed wood pellets, and they're fed in there by an auger. Again, it controls how much is fed into there. It also relies on a forced air system from a fan. So the computer says, hey, you need to blow the fan this hard and put this much wood into it, and it'll give me this temperature. So it's graphing out what it's going to take to get to the temperatures you want and need for your smoke. And your heat's going to come from those pellets being lit by a igniter in the burn chamber. And again, that's all fed by the auger, the fan, and the whole system. Very user-friendly. Here's an example for you of some ribs, chicken, and brisket. If that doesn't make your mouth water, I don't know what will. Smoking is a tradition and a labor of love. This goes back to the caveman times. Even suggests that civilizations as the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans all practiced smoking meats for preservation and flavor. Before we had refrigerators, smoking was one of the ways you preserved your meats, make them last longer. And now we do it as a fun way to go out and eat and enjoy food. How long does it take to cook low and slow? I get this question all the time. Brisket is going to be about 18 hours. Sometimes I've even taken up to 22 hours. Pulled pork, you're looking around 8 hours. Ribs is about 5 hours. And chicken is going to be about 3 hours. But again, it could take anywhere. Like I said, my brisket's taken me 22 hours before. Most people do prefer brisket. About 35% of them do. Ribs is at 30%, pulled pork's at 20%, chicken is at 15%. As far as making a quality product, you have to start with a good base, and that base is going to be a quality meat. You got to make sure you know what you're looking for: fat content, grain, and marbling all go into that. Clean burning fuel. Make sure you have good wood, not wet wood. You need the right moisture content. Pellets, you need to make sure it's a quality pellet, nothing added into it, no plastics, no fillers, just straight pressed wood. Steady airflow. On a traditional, you manually adjust it, and on the pellet, it does it for you. And patience. You need patience for it as well. It is a lot of time. Like I said, it took me 22 hours one time on a brisket. It took all day. So just have patience, and it'll take you patience to learn it. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot to jump into. This is, like I said, this goes back to the caveman times. There's a lot to take in and learn. And of course, a drink for the cook. Just give the cook a beer. A little cheat sheet for you really quick. We went over some times. The temperatures are always going to be around 225 to 220. Brisket, 18 hours. Oak wood is a suggested wood for that. Ribs, about 5 hours. And apple wood's great for that. Pulled pork, you're looking at 8 hours. Peach wood is a good complement to it, and chicken about 3 hours, and cherry wood is a cherry way to put it in there. Easiest way to do your ribs is a method called the 3-2-1 method. It's smoking them for 3 hours, and then for 2 hours you wrap them in foil with some butter, and then 1 hour back on the smoker unwrapped and gets them nice and crispy. One of the big tips I can give you though is don't slice into your meat early. Let it rest. Brisket takes about 2 to 3 hours to rest. Just wrap it in a towel, put it in a cooler, leave it alone. And remember, smoking meat is a labor of love. You gotta love what you're doing. Otherwise, why are you spending this much time and money on it? And it will test your patience. So take your time, take notes, do your research, and have fun with it. The biggest thing is to have fun. Low and slow is the way to go. A little smoking humor to send you off with is, if you could marry a supermodel or smoke a brisket, would you smoke it fat side up or fat side down? So hopefully that makes you laugh and kind of see the joy that we have with smoking meats, and I hope you can enjoy it too. So I hope you have a great day and best of luck out there smoking.